Welcome to Innovation Dialogue. I'm Diana Ding.
My voice.
My story.
My dream.
Innovation Dialogue.
We are encouraged by their story. Welcome to Innovation Dialogue. I'm Diana Ding, and today we're going to talk about how data science is going to change your life. And we have three professors from Indiana University, and David Wild, Ian Ding, and Carl Sterling. So I would like to invite you to introduce yourself.
Sure, I'm David Wild. I'm Director of Academic Programs for Data Science at Indiana University and CEO of a startup called Data to Discovery, and I'm really excited to be here.
My name is Ian Ding. I'm Associate Director of Data Science Online Program. My research area is semantic web and other data-related integration and data mining-related discovery.
And I'm Kyle Sterling, and I'm an adjunct professor at Indiana University Data Science Program.
It's great, yes. We're talking about data science, and I just heard that over 500 students sign up for the data science. And why this draws so many students? What's special about this program?
Yeah, well, we like to think that we're not just training people for the skills they need right now, but we're training people for the skills they need 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Data science is for sure going to change everybody's life. It's going to change everybody's life in ways that we don't fully understand yet. But how it's really going to change your life is if you can be part of this huge movement that's going on. Everything is about data. Companies are changing to be data companies. And if you have the right skill set, the right set of attitudes, and the right set of experiences, you can be one of the people that really changes the world, that changes how things fundamentally operate from a non-data driven world to being a data-driven world. So we're putting into place a whole set of not just traditional learning experiences, but completely new ways of helping students develop skills and experiences that we think are going to position people and position students coming in to be able to be those influencers and leaders in this new world of data science.
Actually, Carl, you mentioned it's about learning and experience. So what do you want the students to learn, and what are the experiences that are so important?
So students seeking a master's in data science are kind of looking for education and vocational training because it changes every day. Everybody knows that they're going to have to build new skills and learn new things every day. So what we provide is an environment to get traditional academic education and ongoing practice with specific projects.
But talking about data science, and data is a trend, it's changing our life, but not everybody have this background. But Ying, you have the program, and how come, how can a person, if they would like to learn the data science, and how can they get involved in this?
Actually, our life has been significantly changed because the data actually is everywhere. So by even you go out to shopping or you apply for a different program, you also first want to look at what are the available data and do some analytics. So we believe data analysis should belongs to everybody. Everybody should have skill to do that. So we provided this program, especially online program, to target people who has this passion and who has want to take this challenge and to learn master's skill of data science to apply in their daily life or start new business or in their current business or change their career goal. So this program, we have some courses like on-ramp courses to prepare students have no technical skill or has basic technical skill on basic programming. Actually prepare them from day one so that they can learn some basic skill, and also they can learn some other add-on libraries and other package. So, and also for each learning package, we actually provide concrete example. It's a concrete example from real-world projects that teach you how you download data, how you clean data, how you load this data to this software, and how you analyze data, how you interpret the result and apply this for your daily decision making. So so our goal is actually we want to bring the data science skills to everyone who willing to learn this skill and change the world.
When you're talking about prepare the students, that means you have to predict the future. So David, what is the trend of this data science? What do you see in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's a great question. I'm not going to predict exactly what the technologies are that are going to be in place 5 years from now, but I do know some things for sure. One is that we're going to see radical transformation in both society and commerce and business through big data and data science. We're already seeing it happening. All companies will become data companies. So data and working in a data-driven fashion will be central to the operation of all companies. But it's happening in society and government too. Government and even legal processes and societal interaction is going to be data-driven. So we're going to see a few things happening. We're going to see an emergence of an ecosystem of new technologies and new capabilities and new algorithms and methods which are designed for this world. Right now we're kind of repurposing methods that have been around for 10, 20 years. We're kind of scaling things up, but we're going to see entirely new methods for connecting data, linking data, finding associations, picking out important trends. We're going to see innovation in hardware technologies, rapid change in hardware capabilities, and that's going to continue. And we're also going to see the emergence of disciplines at not just at the intersection of regular disciplines like medicine and business and data science, but also in social studies and government and public health and public affairs, where huge questions are coming up regarding privacy and what happens when a machine learning algorithm replaces a human. So I see there's going to be a real need for people that have both really strong technical skills, but really strong understanding of the impact of data science can have in a positive fashion on society, and how to make that happen, how to really change the way people think, change people's mindsets, so that data science can really have a revolutionary impact.
You're talking about change people's mindset. What part you think need to be changed?
Well, I think we tend to make assumptions that the way things are now are the way things are going to be in 10 years from now, but with just a few minor tweaks, or maybe things will work a little more efficiently or a little better. But if you look at history, that's not been the case. We've been just the way people interact in the world nowadays. When I was, even at university, people interacted with landline telephones and by postal service mail. And we didn't really think about what it means for us to be able to have live, I Skype live with my family in England all the time. We have conversations going on and work meetings with people around the world. And it's really hard to think about how you would operate in that kind of environment. So you tend to make decisions about things and maybe prioritize things based on your current understanding of the world. So from an IT standpoint and a data standpoint, people think of SQL databases and searching databases and, can we recall this information, or maybe can we predict this thing? But, we're pushing people to really rethink how they think, right? So maybe what would happen if all the data relative to a problem were thrown together, and you could pull together data sources that you don't even know are relevant in making predictions, or in changing the way that you get done. What if your job could be replaced by a robot or a machine learning algorithm? What would you do then? Could you do something useful on top of that? So, I think encoding that in the program, we're not just building, it's really important to build strong technical skills, and that's rapidly changing. We've got ways to train people in the most important skills for right now, and that you're going to need when you go into a job. But we're also challenging people's minds. We're saying, okay, that you're going to learn the technical stuff, but we're going to throw some curveballs at you. We're going to throw curveballs at you from a technical standpoint, but also from a social standpoint. And what happens if somebody asks you to make a decision about leaving some bias in some data, which is ethically problematic? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Are you going to not do it? And if you're not going to do it, what are you going to say? Or somebody wants you to implement something in a SQL database, and you think it should be done in a graph database because they're going to regret it 5 years from now. How do you do that? How do you go about influencing leaders and managers so that you can actually drive how data science is applied?
It sounds like unlimited possibilities, but everyone is thinking about that way. But you mentioned about what's God's way of changing people, and what does that mean?
Sorry,
You mentioned about God's way changing people.
So I think there's going to be a real societal shift going on, right? So there's going to be, every part of a person is going to be involved in understanding that shift and people's ethics, people's spirituality, people's goals for life, and people's curiosity and innovation are all going to come together with technical change that goes on. We see a lot of kind of balancing between how societies develop and how technology is developed. We're right in the middle of one of those right now. So there's so many aspects to being an influencer, being a change for good in that. And I think we want to give everybody the best chance they can of being a leader, an influencer, and a change for good in data science.
So give everybody the best chance. And Carl,
Yes.
actually, Indiana University has a very good program and also the course for students to learn. But what's the best way to change the students?
So the best way to change the students is to help them with the right kind of tools, research, and challenges that can get them to figure out what their best skills are and how they can apply them to real-world problems, and then give them the chance to have that learning experience.
So what do you see the real-world problems nowadays?
So there are many. The world has lots of problems. There's no shortage of problems. But some of my students are going out and taking 1 million responses to a piece of legislation from the general public and classifying them into various opinions and sentiments. So they're going out and figuring out what these 1 million comments mean and be able to report on that. So that's just one example. There are many other problems related to specific businesses or specific governmental data sets about where crime occurs. And students can take these and apply algorithms and come up with different results that maybe people didn't notice before.
One great example, we just actually ran a course in partnership with Eli Lilly, the pharmaceutical company, where they released one of their proprietary clinical trials data sets, and we literally let the students loose on this clinical trials data set with an instructor from Eli Lilly and an instructor from Indiana University. Very non-traditional kind of course, but it helped students really understand how they can directly solve problems, not just solve problems, but actually identify opportunities using real-world data. So we really want to do a lot more of that kind of thing.
Actually, the data is bringing people together from different sides of the world. And how can they work together?
Yeah, actually, I think data science really, truly enable the interdisciplinary collaborations, because you cannot just look at the data without look at the data context. So data actually coming from different domains. And like, for instance, you want to predict what's the best, what is the Monday, how many people will visit a target website. You also need to think about other, weather data and census data and the other conditional data of the whole environment. And actually, those people have to work together. So, for instance, in the research, there's going on use computational hypothesis generations for biologists. There's so much data available. They can only look at some, like 5 to 6 databases, and plus read like 20 or 30 articles. But for any topic-related publication, they could be reached to 80,000. So nobody can read 80,000 articles. So actually, machine now can help us to process this amount of publication and generate kind of knowledge graph, help domain expert biologists to come out with some hypotheses based on the finding we provide. So actually can speed up the research agenda and hopefully create something that can cure some disease in the near future. So like effort from IBM Watson, same kind of similar effort.
What do you see the change all these years? In the last 10 years, the data has changed the industry. Can you give an example?
Yeah, I think a good example would be, say, health insurance is one example where 10 years ago, any health insurance company, if you talk to them about data, they'd be sure we collect data, we maybe get some insights from data, but it's kind of a peripheral activity to their business model, which is selling health insurance and making money out of selling health insurance. Now it's completely changed. I actually talked to a senior person at a large health insurance company recently. They said, we've decided we're no longer a health insurance company, we're a data company. The health insurance is a commodity item. We make money out of selling it, but the real value is in the data that we have about our members, what they do, what health issues they have, and so on. So there's this transformation gone on from data on the periphery to data at the center of what we do. And I would say that's the big change that I've seen. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry for several years, and again, the job of pharmaceutical companies is to discover new medicines and drugs and to develop new medicines and drugs. That's a scientific process by which you hopefully find new things you can put into your body to make you better when you're sick. But again, it's being transformed. It's all about data, because so much data from patients, how they react to certain drugs, how drugs work on a molecular basis. When we start to bring that all together, a machine can start to find insights that no one scientist or doctor or physician or patient is ever going to find just with the knowledge that's in their head. And there's a recognition now that that's the case, and it's going to change how we operate.
It's going to be a really large quantity of data, even for a single person. The people is going to worry about the safety of this, right? So what's the solution for the safety?
Safety, what do you mean?
Well, your data, like what he just mentioned about the patient, that all your data is there. And maybe someone can hide that. And
I think security is it's a very important thing for the data. How you can keep the privacy and keep data from leaking, from being hacked. I think in the future the security research related to security or industry related to security has to be much advanced, because the information can be so easily accessed nowadays, and how you can prevent that kind of sensitive information being leaked. I think it could be a new industry in the future.
So new industry, new problem, create new opportunities.
Yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity for research and for exploration into privacy, security, and data science. It's clear that with the amounts of insights you can get for data, you can kind of use it for good, you can use it for bad, and there's some fuzzy grey areas in the middle that we don't really know whether it's good or bad. So if I can predict that you're going to get diabetes next year, well, maybe that's a good thing. I can maybe help stop you getting diabetes. But if it means your health insurance goes up tenfold, then that's not a good thing, right? So we want to train the next generation of data scientists. They're going to be the leaders who are going to have to tackle these things. And already in companies, there's data scientists. Every data scientist has to tackle political issues and boundary issues, because you start doing stuff which doesn't fit neatly into what the company does. But as this grows, there's going to be just an explosion of ethical, privacy kind of opportunities and issues all kind of mixed in with one, and we're going to have people to navigate that for us.
So what's the biggest challenge for the data scientist? How?
Keeping up with the growth of data. So data's big and it's getting bigger.
Yes.
And you have to be able to manage those large volumes and find ways to get valuable information out of that data.
What's the logic behind this large quantity of the data? How do you structure them?
Well, I think different types of data have different types of structures, but the main thing is that everything we do every day creates data. And so that data gets out there into commercial hands, governmental hands, and what do you do with it? And so how do you use it to the best advantage for everyone? It's a big dilemma.
So like what David just mentioned, it has to be the God's way of changing people, right? Yes. So this is Innovation Dialog. So what is innovation by your definition in one or two sentences? David?
Well, I think innovation in data science is really not just doing what you can do now, but thinking about how you can do things differently and really think outside the box as to how to solve problems. It's all about solving problems and finding new ways to solve problems and new ways to jump on opportunities as they come along, and that requires a kind of particular kind of energy and enthusiasm and mindset and just dedication to seeing things through.
Thinking out of box, especially think about the future. So what's your...
Yeah, data is everywhere. Data is changing our life. Also, data is changing the way how we learn. So actually now data enable us to have a new way of learning. So there's a lot of like MOOC available online courses and individual designed courses, and you can use your data to redesign your personalized learning objectives and learning together and learning to achieve.
Learning together, learning to achieve, and redesign your learning online. Yes. So Kyle?
Yeah, so innovation in data science means that you ask questions that haven't been asked yet. You take risk, you try to develop better, more effective services and products that maybe didn't even exist by combining things that you used to not be able to combine.
A true innovator, asking questions that never been asked, and take risk. So what's the biggest risk right now to take?
It relates to data. I think we're in this transition time, and during this time, people don't know how far to go or what to do. So you could create services that could create great experience, great problems, and how far to go. So I think it's figuring out where the boundaries are, how to draw the line on what you try to do.
So we're here talking about how data science is going to change your life, and we'll see next 5 or 10 years. And the result will come out, and new problem will be there.
Yep.
So new opportunities will be there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As a startup in Silicon Valley, innovation is our DNA. It's inside our blood. What is innovation?
Very confident.
It's a way of thinking, it's a philosophy, it's a mindset. It's very closely related to leadership.
For me, it's really about finding the right fit between the product and the market.
Have a strong technology position, a strong market impact.
Innovation can be an idea, can be a product, can be a service, or can be a thinking. It can be everything, out-of-box thinking, not limited to your background, to the past. Welcome to Innovation Dialogue. I'm Diana Dane, and today we are going to talk about Cloud Festival. Today we have Carrie Davis, and she's here to share her story, which is so inspiring. What we are doing here is to summarize, bring out the point, and give a good presentation. Help people to bring out their idea to the whole world.
It's very important to be able to spot human talent and to be a good leader.
More importantly, it's how our corporate and partners perceive the value that's come out of the event.
It was all about seizing the opportunity rather than looking at the world as a set of problems.
I want to change the paradigm of angel investing being local. I want all of us to think global and to look at great opportunities in Asia or Europe, wherever it is in the world.
Come to Dingding TV. Let us work together to bring out your idea to share with the whole world.